we get started, a fun story just to tell you, to give you a little bit of background on me as a presenter, is kind of how I came to work at Family First. And it actually started a couple years ago when I started sending my daughter to a new school that had one of these All-Pro Dad's Day school breakfast programs. We got the flyer in the book bag and decided to check it out. So one morning before school, we showed up to a room full of lots of dads and kids and had a really great time. And after that, next month we got a flyer again. My daughter wanted to go back. And month after month, she would not let me miss these. And so I finally reached out to the guy that was leading it and said, hey, you know, I'm here. I don't think I'm going to miss any at all. If you can put me to work, if I can help with anything, I love what you're doing. Let me know how I can get involved. And that ended up leading to a conversation, which in the conversation I found out that the gentleman who was leading it, the team captain we call him, he actually worked for Family First, the parent organization that has the All-Pro Dad Fatherhood program. And that conversation quickly turned into me learning that there was a job opportunity to work with these school breakfast programs all across the country. And after a lot of thought, I decided to leave a job that I'd been at for 10 years. I'm now working at a nonprofit organization, advancing the cause of fatherhood, and I'm having the time of my life. And yeah, we're excited to have you on the phone. Hopefully, you're going to catch a little bit of the inspiration that's motivated me to get involved to the level that I am, and we thank you for your time. Just like Kaylee said, this is a webinar to learn about All-Pro Dad's Days and iMOM Mornings, two programs that will help you to get parents better connected to their children at your school. Now, Tony Dungy is the spokesman for All-Pro Dad, and he started the fatherhood program back in the 90s when he was with the Tampa Bay Bucks, and it's grown into quite a fatherhood movement right now. He did record a video, but just to be sensitive to time, we're going to skip over that and go right into talking about statistics of fatherhood. Now, if you work with students at all, you probably know, or if you have children or you had a dad, that the role of a dad is huge in the life of a child. Statistics overwhelmingly show that when children live in a home where their father is absent, either physically or emotionally, there's a lot of negative ways that it impacts the child. The first one is they're 2 times more likely to never graduate high school or to fail a grade. They're also 54% more likely to be poorer than their parents. Young men especially are significantly more likely to be incarcerated, and young women are 7 times more likely to experience teen pregnancy. These are just a few of the statistics that show the impact that a father has if he is not engaged. And you can see from the bottom, those come from government surveys and studies. The good news is, though, when a dad is involved in the life of his child, the opposite seems to be true. Students who have dads involved generally tend to perform better in school. They also have fewer discipline problems, both in school and out. They're more involved in extracurricular activities, and they generally learn and enjoy school more. Virtually every facet of a child's life is influenced positively or negatively by the involvement or the lack thereof of dad. So that's one of the most important reasons why we've created these school breakfast programs, and we want these programs to hit home every time with dads and kids. So a lot of thought was put into how we create these programs, and we've really studied some of the ways that men are unique, how they're different from women, how they're sometimes quirky in and of themselves, and we've tried to work within some of those to put a package of a school breakfast program together that will help parents or teachers and school leaders engage parents at school. So some of the things interesting to men, if you want to get men involved in something, you need to invite them specifically. If you work at a school and you've ever had an event for just parents, you've probably found that mainly moms show up. If you want to get dads there, you have to invite them on purpose specifically and maybe make it a dad event. Otherwise, they're fine to let moms handle the responsibilities so much when it comes to school. Another thing that's always good when you're getting men involved in any endeavor is have men invite other men. I sometimes joke that when my wife asks me to do something, it feels like work. But when a buddy of mine asks me to get involved in something, there's a part of it that just feels fun. It's already past the approval of another guy, so I'm sure it's got to be great. So if you're looking to get anything involved with dads at the school, always have men invite other men. Keep it simple. This is one of those often overlooked events when we're trying to put stuff on that engages men. Men are not complex. We like things that that are simple and predictable. And one of the funny stories we often tell when we started the iMOM morning program, which we started after the All Pro Dad's Day breakfast program, we had moms who were showing up to the Dad's Day breakfast, and that is always okay. There's always going to be children at every school, unfortunately, that don't have a dad. He's either physically not there, or he's passed on, or divorced. You name it. There's going to be a lot of families that don't have a dad involved. So moms are always certainly welcome to bring their children in place of an adult male. But there were a bunch of moms at a particular school that were just coming, and they were really just taking over. They were bringing decorations and centerpieces and making dads wash their hands, and it was getting a whole lot more complicated than the simple thing that the dads thought they were signing up for. So we decided to create a separate breakfast program for moms to really just have fun their own way, and that allows the Dad's Day program to be very another way that you want to keep in mind for is you want to make it fun and non-shocking. I'm getting just a little bit of feedback, so if you can go ahead and put yourself on mute. That would be really helpful. Right now we're talking through the Dad's Day School Breakfast Program and ways to get men involved that are going to help you in any endeavor to get men involved, but particularly with the Dad's Day Breakfast Program. If it's fun and non-threatening, dads are going to come. Sometimes school environments can be quite intimidating to men, and so they're fine to kind of shy away from school, but when they can come to school and they don't have to feel like they're going to fail the game show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, then they'll be more likely to want to come. Another unique thing with men is we often don't give men the credit that I think they deserve, but men deep down really do want to be dads. We really want to engage with our kids. We want to win in our relationship with them, and sometimes we just don't know how to do that. And so if you design a program that gives dads a way to win relationally with their child, where they can engage in that activity and walk away from it knowing that they've just done something good and made a positive step toward their children, they're going to want to come back and do that again, especially if the kids are excited about that step toward them. So always keep the focus on the kids. And last but not least, this one is certainly no surprise. If you want to get men involved in something, if you have food there, you're going to be much more likely to get them and keep them. Now, like I already said, these are just some of those things that we've tried to put together that have guided how we have created this program that we call All Pro Dad's Day. For the rest of the session here, we're going to talk primarily about the All Pro Dad's Day School Breakfast Program, but do keep in mind we have a motherhood component to this that I've already alluded to called the iMOM Morning. It's going to run very, very similarly to the Dad's Day. Obviously, as you'll see a little bit later, it's going to have a much more feminine look to it. Moving on, these are some of the brochures that we have. If you've met us at any school counselor conferences or PTA conferences, you often see brochures like this that contains most of the information that we're going to cover in our brochure today. And if you are interested to learn a little bit more, we can certainly mail some of these out to you or email these to you if you think that would be helpful if you want to go meet with a school principal or take some information on behalf of us to someone else who has to approve it. That's a good thing to have with you. Now, I want to take just a moment and cover what a Dad's Day is going to look like. So this is what we call the Leader's Guide. It is for the topic of showing affection. Every month there's a different topic that we provide, 10 different months of curriculum topics a year. And the whole program can take an hour. So if school starts at 8 o'clock, you might want to start advertising at 7. The bulk of the program itself can really fit into 30 minutes pretty well. But say at 7 o'clock you have breakfast. That's step number 1 on this form. 7 to 7:15, dads are coming in, they're sitting down, they're starting to eat. Give that a little bit of time because no one ever gets there right on time, we found. From 7:15 to 7:45, you can do steps 2 through 7, and that still gives you 15 minutes at the end for dads to walk their kids to class and dads to get out on a predictable schedule, and they know what to expect when they come back the next time. But in that 30-minute window from steps number 2 to number 7, just kind of hit the highlights of what's going to happen. Step number 2 is what we call the pride exercise. We always encourage dads to publicly introduce their children and say why they're proud of them. Now, if you have a big group of people, this can happen with dads just gathering around a table and talking to other dads at the table. But if your group is smaller and you've got the time to allow it, it's a really powerful thing to have the dads get up and really tell the whole room the name of their child and something that child has done that month that's really made them proud. That's one of those single components that are going to make kids want to keep coming back every month because they know that when they come, Dad's going to brag on them, and that makes them feel better than words can describe. Step number 3 and step number 4, these are scripts. We realize that everyone who gets up in front of a crowd is not necessarily a gifted public speaker. So for those people, we've scripted out exactly what they should say to introduce the video, and then from the video, introduce the discussion questions. So that's what's in step number 3 and step number 4. 5 is the discussion questions. We'll actually put questions up on a screen or have them printed out that dads can read. Kids ask your dad this, dad ask your kids this, and it just gets conversation going that probably would not have happened had the dads and kids not come to an environment like this and had a chance to get the conversation going. Step number 6 is the introduction of some sort of a father time challenge. It's a fun homework assignment that dads can take back home with them to do something with their kids to keep the conversation going sometime during the month. And step number 7 is the final activity. It's the raffle. And there's lots of things that you can raffle off. You certainly can raffle off anything that you want. If you're looking for things to raffle and seem a little bit short on ideas, All Pro Dad and iMOM do sell prize packs for $75. You'll get a duffel bag full of goodies that are branded with All Pro Dad and iMOM logos on them, and it gives you something else to add to that raffle time. Whatever you do, though, we encourage that you raffle something because that's just a fun way to end the program. And then normally we'll give you some sort of a bonus activity if kids aren't ready to be dismissed to class yet, or you're just looking to fill a little bit more time. The bonus activities can be really helpful. Normally they don't require a lot of supplies or too much planning. It's just something else that you can do just to fill up some time and make it meaningful. So what I'm going to do now is actually walk through what a program is going to look like when you start it and dads are walking into the room. So imagine you come in early, the sun hasn't risen yet, you walk into a cafeteria or a library or a big classroom, and you see some food set up, you smell some good morning breakfast, you hear some music playing. It's just kind of an upbeat environment to step into. This is what's up on the screen, and the entire time people are eating, this welcome slide is up there just kind of greeting everyone and setting a pace for it's going to be a fun morning. As soon as you're ready to get started, step number 2 on that leader's guide is the pride exercise. Throw this up on the screen, and it just helps dads to realize this is the time that we're dedicating to our children to really affirm them and grow in that relationship. Just to throw this out, we found one of the single greatest things that a dad can do to strengthen his relationship with his child is to positively and publicly affirm his child any chance he gets. That's why we work this component into every single one of our breakfast programs, because we think this is one of those critical elements that you just cannot skip. So after the pride exercise, we introduce to everyone the topic. They might not have heard what it's going to be that day. This particular one is showing affection. And again, this is where you're going to read the script, step number 3 on that script. And I've got the leader's guide here in front of me, so I'm going to read what the team captain would read if he was going to get up and introduce this video. Suppose you were a soldier stationed overseas for a year, had just returned home, and were about to see your child for the first time in a very long time. What would you do? Let's look at this video clip and then talk about how we should always show this kind of affection to our kids. Now, just to give you a quick warning, this video is a tearjerker. So if you got tissues handy, you might want to grab them. I think we got a couple guys on the call. You actually may want to as well. It moved me emotionally when I've seen it. But let's check out a topic on showing affection.
I would like to welcome Mr. Pickett to come get his daughter Emma. Or a pat on the back is all that he would use. I'd like to right that wrong here in this little song. Thank you for shaping my life. Thank you for teaching me all you. You are no ordinary man, no, no, no. everything I am. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for showing me the way. And thank you for being there when I need you. Thank you for every single day. Now I've been blessed with a son of my own. Got my own faith and so be still. If I can raise him half as well as you raised me, guess I'll be doing pretty well. Thank you for your guiding hand. Thank you for making my dreams come true. You're an extraordinary man, and I hope you're as proud of me as I am proud of you. Thank you for giving me life. Thank you for showing me from that. I guess I'm only really trying to say thank you for being my dad. Even though the years drift away, I never took the time just to say I love you, and I always have. And thank you for being my dad. Thank you for being my dad.
All right. So I had a chance to share that video in a Dad's Day that I just led last month, actually. And when I was done, it was so cool for me to see how the dads were just even sitting with their children after the video than how they were before the video. I watched them scooting closer and kids kind of moving to their dad's lap and dads kind of embracing their kids. And so, yeah, it's definitely a powerful video and a really, really good topic that that kids need to benefit from. I do apologize real quickly if the video or audio quality was a little shaky during that. We've heard some feedback that sometimes videos don't play really well through the GoToMeeting, so I apologize if that was the case. All right, so imagine you're in the room full of dads and kids, and the lights come back on, the video's just ended. Here's where the scripting of introducing the discussion questions comes in. So I'm going to read straight from the Leader's Guide and let you see what's going to happen next. So after the video, you say, let's show some affection to our kids right now. Dads, stand up at your seat. When I give you the signal, I want you to crouch down and look your children in the eye. Tell them you love them and give them a big bear hug for 15 seconds. No patting them on the back. That's sign language for I'm not comfortable. I'll let you know when 15 seconds are up. On your mark, get set, go. After 15 seconds, you can say, okay, let's take a few more minutes to talk more about how we can show affection. So you go right into a time of discussion where you're kind of guiding the discussion between dads and kids. Dad can say, you know, one way I try to show you that I love you is by, dads might not have ever articulated that for the kids to understand. The child says something pretty powerful here. Dad, when you hugged me, I felt whatever. Dads might need to see and hear directly from their own kids the value of just a simple hug. The dad can kind of talk about how his dad showed him affection. Chances are really good that that's a lot of the similar ways that he tries to show his own kids affection. And then the child can close by saying, the best way I'd like for you to show me affection is by, and the conversations can keep going from here. As long as dads and kids are really talking, just let this time go. If you're tight on the schedule, you can keep moving on, but this discussion time and the pride exercise are probably the two single most powerful things that you're going to do during a Dad's Day breakfast. After that, you move on to the fun Father Time Challenge. This one, just because of the emotional nature of the video, this is just a really fun, let's make a care package and send it to a soldier overseas. As a quick disclaimer, the videos are not always emotionally gripping like that one happened to be. Often they're funny or they're inspiring, something that's fascinating or educational. The idea is you just want to provoke some thought and get some conversation going around the topic. Moving on, we have a series of slides here that we provide for you. Again, everything that you're seeing right now is downloadable in this presentation. You can, just play the PowerPoint, and it makes it really easy for you to have a professional-looking presentation for your dads without a lot of work. But the next couple of slides here are the connected slides. We realize that men kind of tend to not be very relational. We're wired to be a little bit more loners. And it's important that dads are connected. So we want them to be connected to the fatherhood community in general. All Per Dad is more than just a school breakfast program. Really, it's an amazing resource to help men take positive steps toward their children in relationship every single day. One of the ways they can do that is through the All Per Dad Play of the Day daily email. And you can go to allperdad.com to sign up for that. It takes about a minute to read, and dads can unsubscribe at any time. But it's full of really, really good things and additional resources that can really help dads on particular days that they just need a little boost. The next thing, we want them to be connected to the school. Again, moms tend to be pretty connected to the school, so when you've got a captive audience of dads, it's a great time to tell them about upcoming things, what's going on that their kids are participating in that you want them to be aware of. And always remember, really, really push specific invitations to dads to get them involved, because they'll be far more productive than just inviting families. The last thing, we want them to be connected to your Dad's Day chapter. So always know what the next date is going to be, so you can be advertising that. And we always recommend you try to schedule the times so that they're always like the first Friday of the month or the second Tuesday of the month. That way there's repetition. Okay, moving on, we're going to go into, I'm sorry, we got the prize time as well, and then that ends the program. Next, we're just going to tell you a little bit more about the resources that we have. Keep in mind, this is what the Dad's Day looks like. We also have the iMOM slides right underneath those. All of these are in English. You see elementaries on one side, middle and high school versions on the right, and both of those versions come in Spanish as well. So you can always download those from your Team Captain homepage. Moving on to talking about the homepage real quickly. I want to be sensitive because we're starting to run out of time. If anyone has questions, kind of be thinking about those. Again, to create a chapter, it's just a simple process online. You get a username and a password. You then type it into the login page, and you access what's called the Team Captain homepage or the Morning Leader homepage. If you look at the first box there, the curriculum box, we give you 3 months of curriculum at a time. If you were to click on the bottom one, which is Discovering Your Child's Passion in January, it would take you to a page. You see a little video, the guy with the blue background there, kind of telling about why we chose that topic and what we hope to accomplish. In that kind of reddish tab, you see 4 different versions of the curriculum that we offer. And over in the box on the right, you see all of the download links where you can download each individual segment of the curriculum. Up in the very top of the screen, you see the red navigation bar. It starts off saying, Welcome, Andy. Right beside that is Team Captain homepage. If you click the Team Captain homepage, it takes you back to that main screen that you saw when you came in here. And if you keep reading on that navigation bar up at the top, you then see Edit/View Chapter Page. The chapter page is the publicly viewed web page that you create and you edit on your Team Captain homepage to let the public know about your breakfast programs, when it is, and then to RSVP. This is what it's going to look like. Again, this is the one for my kids' school. They can learn more about it. They can even contact me by clicking the Contact the Team Captain window over to the left. And over to the right, you see the upcoming meetings. I've got each one of them listed out, and you'll notice there's the RSVP box right to the right of it. When dads want to sign up for one of the breakfast programs, they can click the RSVP link, and then that notifies me of who's coming so I know how to plan breakfast. Again, if you go back up there to the Team Captain homepage link on the top, it takes you back to the homepage. The only other thing I'll point out here is just the resources box. Yes, you have a school programs team that answers questions in email 5 days a week, but if you have any questions in the evening, there's a bunch of resources right there in that box. Top 10 list, video tutorials, explaining your Team Captain homepage, explaining every segment of the program and why we think it's important. Definitely a good thing to check out there. And of course, once you sign up, explore your homepage. There's a lot of really great resources that are there. -day or imom.com/morning. And the fee for all of this is only $35 a year. With that, you get all of the videos and PowerPoint presentations and handouts and printable things. You get 10 months of curriculum. You get the RSVP tracking technology. You actually have the capability of sending emails directly from your homepage to a list of dads who are interested in your event. There's really a lot of good stuff you get. Plus, you get 5-day-a-week customer support via phone and email. You can't beat that for only $35 a year, but if that's ever a challenge, we're not so desperate for that money. That's not really what pays my salary. We've got corporate sponsors and private donors that take care of that, so that just helps us to maintain some of the costs of providing the resources. But if that's ever a problem for a school, just let's have a conversation about it. We'll find a way to waive that so that these can be truly free resources if that's what they need to be for you. There's contact information down on the bottom, phone numbers and email, and that's a great way to get a hold of us. But while we have you guys on the phone, I don't know if anybody has any questions or if there's anything that I can do to bring some more clarity. If anyone has any questions and you'd like to voice those, you can type them into the comment box. I don't know if any have come in. Kaylee, have we had any questions yet?
None have come in yet, but if the people on the phone want to type in questions, feel free to type those into the chat box, and we will go ahead and answer those in the next few minutes.
Perfect. Now, if the people on the call, I don't know who all here is represented, but if you're a PTA school or a Title I school, we already have relationships with PTA and Title I that allow you to enjoy the first year absolutely free. So if you want to get one started, let us know and we can get you the codes for those. I think I saw a question come up. Tina?
Yep, Tina asked, what do you typically do for breakfast?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Breakfast is one of those things that is different at just about every single school that runs one of our programs. We don't have a prescribed option for breakfast. Whatever makes sense and is easiest and cheapest is what we would recommend that you do. Some schools have breakfast already provided through the school, and that's kind of important to their numbers. They want to keep track of that, so they just have the school make breakfast for everyone else, and that's an easy thing to do. Some bring in bagels and donuts and danishes and fruit trays and things like that. Others have stuff catered in. Some people have relationships with local restaurants and they can get food donated.